Well, what we have in American agriculture, and even yet in 1990, we've got a lot of satisfied men, and I guess I have to add women, that often will begin by, I was born and raised on a farm. You'll hear it in a panel, or you'll hear it somewhere in public. That's supposed to be validation that they can speak ex cathedra about. I just heard it 2 days ago down at William and Mary from a high USDA official. And the satisfaction, look, the Palouse has lost some years 200 tons of soil per acre. Western Iowa, 18 tons of soil heading toward New Orleans and the Gulf. We've lost our rural schools, our rural churches, rural baseball. We've lost a way of life. And the fundamental question that I think this culture needs to ask right now is the Jeffersonian ideal of the family farm and rural community mere nostalgia, or is it a practical necessity? And we have people that work for the USDA that say they're not interested in saving agriculture. What they want is a food-producing system. And they'd be delighted to have biomass parked outside of cities that could be beat up and squeezed and turned into
pills or
something that we would just eat, you know, or in other words, it's energy and nutrition, but the cultural part of it's gone. Well, these are kind of technological fundamentalists. They're kind of like the religious fundamentalists, and fundamentalism takes over where thought leaves off, it seems to me. So what I think we have to beat back in the culture is this whole notion of fundamentalism, or this whole action of it. So how can a nation stand by and watch the demise of these rural communities and this displacement of people? Marx had talked about rural idiocy. Well, now we have more urban idiocy as a problem than rural idiocy was ever a problem. The idiocy of rural life, he called it. Well, so I also am enough of a rural chauvinist to believe that kids that have been raised in shopping malls and Little League that have not really learned the lessons of democracy, how things got to be the way they were, and then we're practitioners in it, I don't believe that they're going to have what it takes to meet the challenges. And so my irritation is with this sort of cultural crisis that's come, which is a threat to our country.
You see it stretching far beyond just the question of agriculture.
Well, yes. But look, I mean, the thing about food is that it's unimportant to people until they go without it.
Yes.
And then it becomes the most important thing that they can think of. So this willingness on the part of one administration after another, for instance, to export food and not even think about how we're going to get the nutrients back, or to, in some cases with corn, I guess, it's 5 bushels of soil being lost per bushel of corn produced. I mean, how can anybody in the USDA or land-grant institutions be satisfied with almost anything going on in agriculture with that kind of a loss? I mean, where in the hell is our mind, our national mind on this type of thing? So my irritation that shows up in those, the ratio of irritation to delight is highly on the side of irritation.